Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Jahnke Roger from the Institute of Integral Qigong and Tai Chi, and this is our webinar series, informational webinar series, The Tai Chi and Qigong Way. And our topic today is becoming a Tai Chi teacher. We'll be talking about the benefits of that for yourself and others, and some of the other details. And so let's just go ahead and jump right in. And of course, welcome and thank you for your interest. And we really love doing these opportunities to share with you. The world is learning more and more about Qigong and Tai Chi. It's exciting. So many of you are on our mailing list and you're responsive when we announce a webinar, and then some of you are actually new, that you've either been recommended to join us by someone you know, or you found us on the web, and we're grateful for all the directions that you come from. And some of you are interested in the energetics, energy medicine, integrative medicine. Some of you are interested in the health and the vitality and the fun and the social connection and the healthcare politics. It was fun to put that picture in there of the wife, Michelle, of the President of the United States in China practicing Tai Chi. Was, yeah, that's great. And then many of us are just seeking kind of a place of refuge, stress mastery, tranquility. Allow me to introduce myself to those of you who've been here before. Thank you for your patience with this, and to our new friends. My background is in Chinese medicine. I've been doing this. My first Tai Chi class was in 1967. I've had a full career as a doctor of traditional Chinese medicine, been to China 9 times. I'm honored to be one of the founders of the National Qigong Association, and I'm the author of The Healer Within and The Healing Promise of Qi. Also the founder of the Institute of Integral Qigong and Tai Chi, the Training and Research Institute that is presenting you this webinar today. Before we get started, we always do this at these webinars. Let's review the foundation of all the mind-body traditions, Tai Chi, Qigong, Yoga, and that is the 3 treasures. First treasure, mind-body focus. Second, breath focus, mind focus. Third, and we'll just go right down the line here. First, adjust your body. And you can see from the picture a little bit about how to do that if you're sitting or standing. This is the foundation of Tai Chi and Qigong. Then take a deep breath, and no matter where you are. One of the things that we say, well, I'm not going to take a deep breath in this stuffy old building. But if you happen to work in that building, you're taking small little breaths of that air all the time. And as you will learn as you study Qigong and Tai Chi more, the breath isn't just for oxygen. The breath, a deep breath, causes a triggering of relaxation, and it also causes the pumping of the lymphatic fluids, both of which are really amazing parts of our total functionality. And then the third intentful point of focus is the mind. And that Chinese character in the middle there, it's a beauty, is the character for mind in China, but it doesn't mean just mind, it means heart, mind, heart, mind. And so in the practice and you can do that right now, we clear our mind, which is very soothing to the nervous system. Actually, before we go ahead, let's just linger here for a moment. Take another deep breath and think to yourself, what is it that I want to know or to learn about Qigong and Tai Chi? Where am I in my own practice? Am I at that point in my practice where I am ready to deepen? Am I just getting started? And if you're just getting started, hallelujah, lucky you. You've discovered one of the most amazing bodies of information and practice in the world, in the history of the human race. And then also think to yourself, am I ready to share with others? And so often people say that they think that they need to have a lot of education to be a practice leader or a teacher. But just so you know, here at the IIQTC, we've trained over 300, about 400 teachers and about 600 practice leaders. And most of them have pretty much just gotten into being a teacher because they wanted to give back. And they give themselves permission to not know everything. Most of the people who come to Tai Chi and Qigong classes don't want to know everything. They have already too much in their lives. They want something simple that they can use to soothe themselves, reduce their stress, enhance their well-being, and prevent chronic disease. So notice that there's some web sites here, and a lot of times people like kind of drift when they're at a webinar, check out other things and so forth, and we think that's fine. And so IIQTC.org will get you to the web page, the curriculum for the teacher trainings, and the calendar for not only teacher training, but also all the other events that we do at retreat centers. YouTube.com takes you to one of our YouTube sites. feeltheqi.com, left-hand side, about halfway down, there's a blog there. That site is my personal site, taichieasy.org. So these links will be in the follow-up email. And so if you want to, stick with the focus, that's great. Or if you want to range a little bit and check out other things, that's great too. We're just glad to know you. We want to inform you at a rate that is in accord with your preferences about being informed. Now, when you go to webinars, there's a bonus. We feel like that's not a bad idea, and so we're offering here today a bonus. At the end, we'll give that to you. If you can't stay till the end, that's fine. Again, back to your own pace of learning. You will get a follow-up email and the invitation, the click to the free membership site will be included. The free membership site, which you can, by the way, share with as many people as you want, is a library with video, some keynote lectures, which are also videos, chapters from my books, and a number of very useful articles, and some audio files. So enjoy that, and we'll give you the link for that towards the end of our time together. So we do a lot here at the IIQTC. We do research, we train people in professional trainings, and we do workshops for the general public, people who just want to learn how to practice Qigong and Tai Chi. Today, the topic is teacher and instructor training. We've been training people for over a decade and are recognized as probably the most reputable training and research organization outside of China. That people have told me that, so I'm just repeating. I wouldn't make that up. You can make up your mind about that. That's no problem. See our calendars. We have almost every year we have primordial Qigong retreats, public workshops at the great retreat centers, Esalen, Omega, and Kripalu. We have a Tai Chi Easy practice leader training or two. Well, usually more than that. Four to six Tai Chi Easy practice leader trainings, and a number of healer within practice leader trainings. And then I already just mentioned the free membership site. The topic for today is the benefits of being a teacher. So we're going to head right into that direction. But I want you to know that I know that some of the people on the line do not have a lot of background, and some of the people on the line have quite a bit of background. And so I'm going to try to speak to you both, and I would like to inform and inspire you. So the definition of Qigong, which we use here, is there are many definitions. This is what we call the operational definition. The Qigong includes 4 baskets of practice: body-oriented, posture and movement, massage, self-applied massage, very powerful, breath practice, to notice the breath and modify the breath, and meditation or mindfulness, or gaining the capacity to control where the mind goes, because there's so much more power in our minds than we've really recognized as a society. And we're into a real renaissance in that regard. This view, this paradigm, this framework, we carefully articulate this here at the IIQTC because it makes it really easy for people who are learning and new practitioners to understand the overall how the practice works. And of course, we teach the people who are going to be teachers and practice leaders about how to articulate that and why it's important to communicate that to their learners and so forth. It's also developed for our graduates in promoting their professional skills. So in other words, when you go to promote a Qigong class, most places that might pay you for that could say, well, what is that? And now you're in a big, long conversation about what is Qigong. And so we typically say mind-body practice, including practices from Chinese yoga and Tai Chi, you know, any way you want to say it, really. And some of you have had plenty of experience with this. And then others like the word, and if they know what it means, and they're fine for you to use it, and then you can. The other reason for the 4 baskets of practice is that the research on Qigong and Tai Chi is a very complex realm. And there are some, we won't talk about it too much today. We're going to have a webinar on research eventually. So watch for that. And then we'll get very much into the details of Qigong and Tai Chi research, mind-body research, and the value of a framework like the 4 baskets of practice. And then in Tai Chi, we reference integral Tai Chi because we draw from all the classic Chinese families of Tai Chi. We also deeply honor the potential origin of Tai Chi at Wudang Mountain, one of the sacred mountains of China. I was actually just there recently. What a powerful experience that is. So there are many principles associated with Tai Chi. The ones that came to mind when I was making this slide are these: sinking and rising, expanding, breathing purposefully, relax, root, connect with the earth, the power of understanding the Tai Chi pole. That's what that picture to the right is. That column in the center is the Tai Chi pole. the weight shift, initiating the movements from the center, which is the lower one, the blue colored one called the lower dantian. And then when one part moves, all parts move. And that's where the beautiful flow of Tai Chi comes from. Now, these are some of the things that those of you who know Qigong and Tai Chi already know. And for those of you who are new, these are some of the foundation principles that we teach people to be teachers of. Here's what's happening in science right now. We're actually going to talk specifically about some research that's been done on Qigong and Tai Chi that we did here at the Institute, the IIQTC. But just look at the range of issues or points that arise when we're discussing, excuse me, when we're discussing Qigong and Tai Chi, longevity, disease prevention, health promotion, wellness, the capacity that we have to heal ourselves. And the question, beautiful question, is that actually happening, or is it some kind of placebo? Our trainees study the placebo. We don't really care, of course, if the healing is actual or placebo, but because in all cases it is manifest by the individual, and it's a miracle. So who cares if it's actually occurring through physiological processes like the immune system, or whether the marvel of the implementation of the placebo is actually occurring. It's a great debate, and whoever wins the debate, we will celebrate, because we don't really segment this as to right, wrong, up, down, or whether it is or isn't. The whole concept of energy realms, energy medicine, energy psychology, energetics in general, the energetics of the world, as well as the energetics of our own being. Lots of information on the fact that human bodies actually produce light. Did you know about that? Wow. Human luminescence, quantum boundlessness. In other words, is there an aspect of ourself that is not located inside the body? And of course, most people who are interested in energy medicine are clear on the fact that there's more to the human experience than that which is inside the body. The multiverse, meaning from what physics tells us, there's some possibility that we have an existence that it lies outside of these time-space dimensions, the 4 dimensions. Wouldn't it be interesting to explore the aspect of yourself that is not limited to this universe and actually make contact with that aspect of yourself? Intuition, insight, and wisdom, these things spontaneously arise from the practice of Qigong and Tai Chi. For decades, I've been doing Tai Chi since 1967, and the pace of personal insight has just gone up. It's amazing. Knowing about and understanding more about the higher self, the transcendental self. What does it mean, ageless being, the eternal nature, what the Chinese call immortality? So we're not just practicing or teaching people to teach about an exercise. We're actually buried inside of that exercise is a lot of very deep and rich possibility. Interestingly, the Chinese have had insights about all of this millennia ago. Yeah, thousands of years ago. It's amazing, profound. Understanding, cultivating, enhancing your natural self. Do you know? Like, who knows? Well, what is the natural self? What's the unnatural self? How do we tell the difference? Is it possible to be able to come to understand the difference. These are all packed in with Qigong and Tai Chi. It's beautiful. The common denominator to pretty much everything that we're looking at here is what we call energy, what the Chinese call qi. And it's important for you to know that there are many definitions of qi. It's not limited to energy. And in fact, energy can include consciousness and much, much more. I'm going to show you some slides here of the energy bodies from the Healing Promise of Qi, one of the books that I wrote. And so that you can get a sense of what we call the 4 equivalents of Qi. So that's the 4 aspects that we could discuss in our own language that come under the designation of Qi. And as you see with these, you'll realize, oh, wow, you know, the word Qi means a lot. So the first equivalent from the Western world of Qi is the Ergs. And that's in physiology, that's what's called biological energy or physiological energy, also known as function. So when things are functioning, the Ergs are efficient, and when function is deranged in some way, the Ergs are suffering. And notice that that energy aspect of our being is local, and it's in our physical self. It's contained within the body. And then the second equivalent of energy is the inner energetics, mostly referenced in our society as ions. And this aspect of ourself is within the self, but it's not physical. The Ergs is physiological. The ions are inside the body and participate in physiological function, but they're frankly a kind of energy. Note that the 3 dantian, the lower dantian, the middle dantian, and the upper dantian are there. And there's also one for the solar plexus, just because it's such a powerful aspect of our function. Of course, these dantians are really associated with energy centers, just as in yoga, the chakras are associated with energy centers. And the yoga energy centers and the Chinese or the Daoist energy centers, they're all the same. And we teach a lot about that in our classes, and we teach people to teach that to their students. Then, whenever there's ions functioning, there is a field. That's basic physics, biophysics, basically. The field is not exactly local. I mean, it's not localized inside the body. It's local to the extent that it's near you, but it isn't necessarily in you, as represented in this image. And then finally, the quantum aspect of our being, which is both near, as in the magnetic field, but also scientists cannot figure out if there's an end or an edge to the non-local self. And so we say that this aspect of the energy body is not local, it is not physical, and it may be boundless. So how profound and interesting is that? And then the question becomes, when you're teaching Qigong and Tai Chi, which of these energies is operating? Or are they all? And how will science ever figure this out? It seems like the ancients were better at, shall we say, knowing about these things than scientists. Now, the big question is, does that matter? In other words, if scientists haven't figured something out, does it mean that it's not real? And of course, if you look at science, it's always changing its mind, going all the way back to the Renaissance and then to Newton and Galileo. And, you know, I mean, those brilliant human beings figured out a lot, but then, you know, we changed it. Einstein and Niels Bohr. So Michelle in Minnesota says, and she's referencing the Tai Chi and Qigong teacher training. Do we have to complete the whole series in a year? And we're very sensitive to people's learning styles and their schedules and their times and also their resources. And so, no, it is not important for you to do it in a year. It's not required. Some people say, you know, I want to do this in a year, and they do. Other people say, I want to do it in a year, but then they have life happens, kids, school, job, people who have graduated from our level 1 who have not come to the most level 2, that have not come to our most recent level 3, and that is fine. We have a few people, not very many, who just take level 1 and that's all of it. And we have a few people who've taken, a lot less, who've taken levels 1 and 2. And I'm going to describe levels 1 and 2 later, you know, briefly, and then you can look at the website. So we're sensitive to your learning styles, and we're sensitive to your learning situations. People to actually be saying, well, I am just going to change my job completely. We have health insurance brokers who have actually just quit selling health insurance because it's not really health insurance, and that, you know, they're very mission driven and they want to be a part of the real solution, and they become Tai Chi teachers, Qigong teachers. Librarians. We have people we have a lot of librarians. We have a lot of lawyers. We have quite a hefty number of doctors, chiropractors and acupuncturists and naturopaths too. So, you know, everybody learns at their own rate. And Michelle, no, it's not necessary to complete it in a year, but you can. It's all set up so that you can, if that's what you want to. And then Donald in Washington asks a very interesting, super practical question. Does insurance reimburse for Tai Chi classes? And the kind of cool answer to this is maybe. So it's not no. You know, we don't have to say no here. There are insurance companies that do. If you have a health savings account, that will pay for Tai Chi classes. And a lot of the teachers that we've trained have people who have health savings accounts in their classes, and they write their checks from the health savings account, which is a pre-tax dollar. So when you put $1 in there that you would have paid, let's say 25 cents on that dollar for taxes, in that account, that tax was not removed. So your dollar is untaxed, and it can be spent without having been taxed, which is really like at the 25, usually for most people about a 25, can go higher to even 30 or 33 or 35% savings. That's like getting the class for 25% off. It's amazing. Some insurance companies will pay for these services if they are provided by certain types of providers. Now, let's just use the example of a physical therapist. So in physical therapy, there's what's called a physical therapy assistant. So if the physical therapist has an order from a doctor and then assesses the case and prescribes physical therapy through Tai Chi, then the physical therapy assistant who may be teaching the class, well, they won't take your insurance. The office that you're working with will take the insurance. So there's quite a bit going on. Like now, for instance, take for instance the Veterans Administration. We work with the Veterans Administration. Well, when we train teachers at the Veterans Administration, and then those teachers provide those services, the veterans that receive those services go to the Tai Chi and Qigong classes, typically do not pay anything. Or if they do, they pay a very small copay. So the news is good about the whole concept of reimbursement as a source. Most of the people that we are working with have trained do not take insurance directly, but they work with organizations that take insurance. And so that's even better, because then somebody else is doing all the paperwork, and you're receiving a fee for the time that you are teaching. So you'll have to ask, you know, every situation is different, but you know, overall it's very exciting. Now let's go to some really interesting statistics. For those of you who come to our webinars, you've seen this before. For those of you who haven't, you get to see it for the first time. Why we show this is that this is very, very powerful. And these numbers, look at that, from 1991 and 1993. So we're talking about 20 years ago. Our culture recognized that preventable diseases are preventable. And almost all chronic disease is preventable through behavioral strategies. So low cost, group-based. So we're not talking about doctor visits and procedures, medical procedures. We're talking about going to classes, yoga classes, meditation classes, Tai Chi classes, Qigong classes, health and wellness coaching, those kinds of things. And so the fact that this is starting to really make its way into our healthcare system is no surprise, because even though there may have been resistance at one point, you know, 20 plus years have passed. And the smart organizations are realizing, well, wait a minute, this is actually a good idea. There's a slide that I'm not going to show you, but I'll tell you about it. Statistically, for organizations that do wellness programs for their staff, their employees, they save, for every dollar spent, they save $6. That's like a 600% investment gain. So if you were thinking about the stock market, you know, and you were going to invest in a stock, would you not invest in a stock that was going to give you 600% return? And of course the answer is yes. So there's a lot of momentum out there right now. Spas and hospitals and school systems and, you know, more than that, churches and faith-based organizations. I've got a slide on that, so we'll talk about where this is all happening later. But basically it's everywhere. And then here's an article that was published in the American Journal of Health Promotion, written by myself and Dr. Linda Larkey, one of our IIQTC graduates, who is a researcher. And this has got a lot of attention. There was actually a ABC News segment on this article, and there were many, many mentions of this article over the years in the press. So we're very proud of that, of course. And let me show you this slide. The three most studied areas of Tai Chi and Qigong are cardiovascular, which is the biggest killer in our society, balance. Well, let's go back to cardiovascular. Cardiovascular has had 27 studies that have proved it safe and effective. And that's what people care about. If they can feel secure that the process is safe and effective, then they're comfortable referring their patients to do it. And it's called the evidence base. And the evidence base is huge for Tai Chi and Qigong and cardiovascular disease. And Tai Chi plus Qigong are recommended widely by many government agencies. The Centers for Disease Control, National Institutes of Health, the Department of Health and Human Services, all of those recognize that these practices are excellent for balance, which is basically falls prevention. Our society wastes a lot of money on falls prevention. And then think of this, like how many people experience stress, anxiety, and depression? Are you raising your hand? You know, just about everybody has some of that in their lives, particularly stress, which can lead to anxiety and depression. And there are 19 studies that prove Tai Chi and Qigong safe and effective. And of course, these studies, this is a paper that was printed a while ago, published a while ago, so the numbers of studies have gone up by now. So if you're thinking like, if I became a teacher, how would I get paid? And is there any need for teachers? The answer is yes. There is a huge need for Qigong and Tai Chi teachers. And given the investment return is 600% on large populations for disease prevention, because why not prevent a disease as opposed to treating a disease? So the trending is very strong in the direction of the value of these things. Now, what are the benefits of becoming a Qigong and Tai Chi teacher? Well, there's benefits for yourself, there's benefits for the learners, there's benefits for the society, there's benefits for the economics and the politics of the nation, and there are benefits for the world. And I'm imagining that you can visualize this, but let's just stick with it for a moment. For yourself, you know, don't you want to be a healthier person? Yes, of course. And you want to get really good at being a healthier person. And what is there any better way than teaching what you want to learn about? So as you become a Qigong and Tai Chi teacher, you're now in the position of reviewing information about this, studying up, learning more, paying attention to what people are talking about, becoming involved in conversations where the richness of the information exchange is happening around the subject of the benefits of these for health and disease prevention and stress management and so forth. And I mean, some of the conversations are just amazing. For the learners, and by the way, back to those conversations, we have a couple of Facebook pages. There's a Facebook page for the Institute of Integral Qigong and Tai Chi. Check it out, like it, please. There's a Facebook page for the Tai Chi and Qigong Way. Check that out. You know, leave a comment. Tell us about what you're thinking. For our graduates, we have a number of ways for the graduates to communicate, sometimes live at what we call reunions, and other times we have a Facebook, kind of an exclusive Facebook page for the graduates. So those conversations that are going on out there are amazing. I take part in conversations at LinkedIn, Google+. Check some of these things out. It's just some of the insights are just exquisite. And then for the learners, you know, as a teacher, one gets involved with people who are excited about the possibilities for their lives. And some of the people that come to your classes are actually desperate. And it's not unusual, and this is so thrilling, it's not unusual for people to have positive benefits from being in your class when some of the medical procedures that they've had have not been successful. That is so heartwarming and inspiring. And then think of it for our society. Right now, in our society, there are people, hurting each other, um, children who are distressed, who are bullying each other or hurting themselves. And Tai Chi and Qigong, it turns out when you teach this to people, whether they're young people or older people, and by the way, we have in our training, teacher trainings, we have actually had teenagers trained as a Qigong and Tai Chi teacher, and people in their very early 20s. So high school students and college students. And then, in the middle, it's for people with stress and disease prevention. And then towards the latter part of life, balance and disease prevention and peace, personal peace. Very powerful. So this is not just local. You are participating, of course, as a teacher in your local area. But when you pile all this up, the over 1,000 people that we've trained are having a very significant influence on our world. And we've trained people from countries all over the world, including Asia. In other words, people from Asia come to the United States to study the Asian wellness arts. That's inspiring. And then for the economics, we've already talked about this. Agencies, organizations, and individuals can save lots of money that's being wasted treating diseases that really don't require treatment. They're so much better to prevent them. Remember what Grandma said? A stitch in time saves 9, but better, even more direct. She said, an ounce of prevention is worth more than a pound of cure. Wow. So can we fix societies with this economically and politically? What happens when citizens are oriented to the process of self-reliance? Not a lot of self-reliance in the United States. Sorry, we like to say we're a self-reliant nation, but that was actually, people who were talking in the 1700s. If self-reliance has been removed from the American society by anything, it would be healthcare. Because healthcare isn't healthcare, it's medical treatment. People do not take care of themselves. They don't know how to. They're discouraged from taking care of themselves. Citizens of the United States are actually made to believe that there's no way that you can take care of yourself. You have to use the medical system. Yeah, I know, it's depressing, but it's not true. So, we get to play with that and be involved in that. It's very, very inspiring. And, we've already talked about it, but this is global. It goes all the way to the world. And in a way, it's balance and harmony within each person stimulates and supports the potential for balance and harmony in each family. Balance and harmony in each family fosters and supports balance and harmony in the community. And balance and harmony in communities contribute to balance and harmony in nations. And you can see where this is going, because balance and harmony in nations creates balance and harmony in the world. Yeah, we need that. We need that. Okay, we should keep going because we're coming up on our hour. So who are these people who study to be teachers? Well, it's everybody. It's not just professionals. There's a lot of professionals listed here. But our largest population of people is just folks. Like I said, we've got, well, I told you about the insurance broker. We have a banker, like someone from very high up in the banking industry. We have numerous people from the trades who have had a new vision for their career. Physicians, acupuncturists, nurses, teachers, hospital employees, social workers, drug and alcohol professionals, massage therapists, physical therapists, occupational therapists, yoga and fitness instructors, psychotherapists and family therapists, including psychologists and psychiatrists, athletes, retired business persons, veterans, faith ministry leaders, and anyone starting a new career. We have trained more than one of every one of these kinds of person, and many of them are out there, adding this to their professional portfolio and loving it. Just so appreciative that, you know, as a therapist, let's say, for instance, Tai Chi can be, and Qigong can be a part of the therapy process, or as a physical therapist or an occupational therapist, that Qigong and Tai Chi can be a part of the treatment plan. Wow, that's so amazing. Where is this happening? Hospitals, clinics, social service agencies, community centers, faith institutions, veterans facilities, spas, fitness centers, stress mastery programs, golf clubs, yoga centers, schools, universities, corporations, and I'm sure there are more. We have someone who's working, who got this training and went back and is working for a large bank in a large city where there are many branches. And so they are now being dispatched by their wellness person, their wellness program, their health benefits program, and their human services, HR, human resources, to teach Qigong and Tai Chi at the branches. So when you're looking for an organization to train with, to develop the, to gain the certification as a Qigong and Tai Chi teacher, this is what we feel we have accomplished to support you. We have international credibility. I lecture in other countries and in China. Recognized leadership, which is not limited to myself. We have a whole team of practice leader trainers, we call senior trainers. These are extremely creative and high quality teachers and leaders. Authentic roots. All of what we do goes back to the bottom line principles of Chinese tradition. Excellent training in methods and theory. I'm going to show you a list of the methods. It's a short list. You'll have to go to the website to get the details. Training in teaching methodology. Many of the courses that we see out there that claim to train teachers are basically just teaching you Qigong and not particularly teaching you to be a teacher, which is, geez, need I say more about that? Participation in research. We're very involved in research. Right now, we have programs, research programs going with the Veterans Administration. So needed, so timely, and just so suitable, and so much less expensive. And all that's showing up in the research. At the IIQTC, I publish, colleagues publish, a number of our colleagues have written books, strong professional alumnus group, so we have a very strong professional community, and we do reunions. Advanced leadership training, we have an advanced leadership training. I mentioned a moment ago that I'm not the only part of the leadership here at the IIQTC. Continuing education, in other words, further training, and web-based resources. We have an exclusive web page for our graduates. As well as being very involved on the web, and probably a lot of how you got here, is that you found us on the web. At the Institute of Integral Qigong and Tai Chi, these are some of the things that you will learn. It's a short list. The foundations of Qigong and Tai Chi and their application in teaching beginning, intermediate, and advanced Qi cultivation. So we teach you through levels 1, 2, and 3 to be enabled and informed to teach all of that information, a wide array of dynamic moving forms and quiescent meditative forms of Qigong, Tai Chi, and drawing on the ancients as well as some of the more recent developments in China. We work with the 10 levels of Qi cultivation and mastery, which is a framework which is consistent with ancient thought as well as contemporary ideas for today. We investigate the relationship of all the different energy approaches and so forth. So this is not a lineage or a school where you only get one body of information. We try to open the entire body of information. We investigate medical Qigong, have a program called Medical Qigong for the Millions. Watch for that, including transmission of Qi and Qi healing. And there's a whole lot more. I mean, a whole lot more. So see the http://IIQTC.org. At the Institute, we focus on how to teach Qigong and simple Tai Chi safely and effectively, plus how to language, because when you say the right words, it's more likely that you're going to get hired. We teach you how to talk to agencies and institutions as well as directly to people. How to modify the practices for clinical situations. And as you can see, wheelchairs and walkers, but also modify the practices for kids in school and people who are interested in Kung Fu. How to initiate and manage classes, how to actually, do the business. IIQTC resources will help you to manage and market your business, calculate compensation. There's the click for the students and graduates section at the website there in the web-based support. So it isn't just a training, it's a whole experience and a professional community which doesn't go away. This is a professional community with over 1,000 people in it, which is nourished and supported on a regular basis over time with 4 quarterly newsletters and reunions, as I've mentioned, and discussion areas on the web where people get together, and people talk to each other directly too. So I'll tell you just a little bit about level 1, and then I'll tell you a little bit less about level 2 and level 3, and then we'll be wrapping up. The level 1 is what we call the Integral Community Qigong Practice Leader. Takes place in 7 days. There's always a level 1, or almost always a level 1 enrolling. So check the websites. Learn integral Qigong basics, and we teach you these things, but we teach you to teach these things: history, philosophy, breath work, self-applied massage, meditation, intentful movement forms, lots of forms. I'm going to give you a list here in just a moment. And at the end of level 1, you are encouraged to be teaching classes. So you can see some of the environments that we use for our trainings. We go to different retreat centers. Usually they are in natural environments. Not always is there water running like that, and not always is there a herd of deer like that. But there have been, and there will continue to be. The different places that we go are gorgeous, and we are very careful in selecting them regarding lodging and nutrition and location. So we move level 1 around, but often when level 1 is in the west, people come from the east, and often when level 1 is in the east, people come from the west. So the placement is important for some people, but not all. And this is just a tiny little bit here about the Daoist Medicine Wheel, seasons, directions, and learn to teach 7 precious gestures, which is just a gorgeous, rich, deep, philosophical form of Qigong with lots of breath practice, which is just making medicine, producing elixirs within the human being. Some of the methods, vitality enhancement method, Buzhong Qigong, that's from the my book, The Healer Within, by the way. 9 phases of integral Qigong, that's the framework in the Healing Promise of Qi. 7 precious gestures, we just talked about it. Connective tissue transforming, that's the tendon changing, traditional, what's called the tendon changing practice. Huolin's Qigong, which was originally thought to be for cancer, but is now known to be for a wide array of chronic disorders. Marrow bathing, the Daoist Medicine Wheel, which we also just talked about. Qi transmission, and that's the whole process of sending out influences to support others in the world through Qi transmission. At the end of level 1, you are enabled and encouraged, informed, and inspired to teach at every level. So when you get back from level 1, teach. Back from level 2, teach. Back from graduation from the whole certification in level 3, teach. And it's amazing the stories that we hear from people who are teaching. Level 2, just so you know a little bit about it, is primarily focused on Tai Chi. And it almost always happens in Santa Barbara. People ask, when you're going to do the Tai Chi level 2 someplace else. Probably won't. You know, it's just, the retreat center here is amazing. And yeah, so it's, you know, we just, we continually are rolling these sessions, and so we were recently at a level 2, recently level 3, upcoming level 1s. These are all constantly going on, and they're always completely inspiring. In integral Tai Chi, what we do is we draw from all the streams based on the principles as mentioned earlier. Level 3, advanced Qi cultivation, inner alchemy, microcosmic circuit. It's just a beautiful, the secret of the golden flower, amazing. And of course, in level 2, we review level 1, and in level 3, we review levels 1 and 2. So as a teacher, you can bring wisdom of the ancient physicians and teachers of China into hospitals, clinics, etc. in your own neighborhood. It's an energy healing revolution. It's happening now. You can participate. Integral Qigong integrates and distills the most profound principles of Qi cultivation from the medical view, the Taoist view, the Buddhist view, the Confucian view, and the martial traditions, all woven into a comprehensive and keyword integrated or integral instructional system. These certification trainings are often used for a career shift for people, and it's also important for you to know that people come to these events for a personal retreat, and we're okay with that. So you don't have to be a teacher, and it's always easiest to try to teach something, try to practice something in your life that you actually have enough information and skill to teach. That's where teach what you aspire to know comes from. My favorite quote from one of our graduates, there's just something warm and special and loving about the IIQTC. I love being part of it. I love being in the presence of it. The resonance is like a warm embrace. just a couple of pictures from trip to China, trainings that we do, reunions that we have. I'm moving along because of time. And here's some of the people who are already registered in events that are coming up or have recently happened. Doctors, nurses, we talked about this. Hospital employees, social workers, drug and alcohol, massage therapy, physical therapy, occupational therapy, yoga, psychotherapy, family, and more. Recently, we had a new age thought leader. You know, somebody who you would think, wow, that person does trainings. Well, they were in one of our trainings. Exciting. People starting new careers. So wrapping up now, here's the bonus. But first, just for our trainings, they're always happening. Check our calendars. The replay of this webinar will include some videos. And then when you join the free membership site, there are some more videos there. So here's the link for that. http://iiqtc.org/member. And, you know, it's just easy access. And there'll be a reminder of this in your replay announcement. But honestly, you can go there right now. Just take a moment, iiqtc.org/member. I think you'll be glad. And you're welcome to share that with anybody. It's not really limited just to you. Oh, Q&A, here we go. Love this part. Linda in Boston says, some say that Qigong is a spiritual practice. And Linda, I'm so sorry, I'm going to be a little brief here. Others say that it's a health and stress mastery process, and still others say that it's a martial art. Which is it? Well, that's the beauty. It's all of those things. So it can be applied as a martial art. It can be applied as a health strategy, health and stress mastery strategy. It can be applied as a spiritual practice. And different people get on the Qi train, shall we say, for different reasons. So some people are seeking a spiritual experience. Others just want a health experience, but oh my gosh, it ends up being a spiritual experience anyway. Some are looking for a spiritual experience and derive a health benefit. So it goes both ways, and there's a lot we could say about this, and that's a lot that we do say in our trainings. But if you don't mind, I'll leave it there for now because, you know, basically that's what you asked. Now, Walter from Georgia has asked this question. Is Tai Chi easy really easy? And he says, does it replace your level 2? I'm going to answer this question now, even though this is not a webinar on Tai Chi Easy, nor is it on level 2. But I think those of you who are interested in pursuing becoming a teacher, and if you may decide you want to do this through the IIQTC, when you have this information, the teacher training certification or instructor training certification is 200 hours. Tai Chi Easy practice leader, the difference between a practice leader and a teacher, is 25 hours. Now there's a whole rationale which I didn't mention in this webinar, and I wish I would have, but then we would have gone even more over time. But look this up. Just look this up. Look up National Expert Meeting on Qigong and Tai Chi. National Expert Meeting on Qigong and Tai Chi. And you could also say consensus document, because there's a document that was produced by a national consensus meeting. It was called the National Expert Meeting on Qigong and Tai Chi, but it was a consensus meeting, and there's a consensus document. and it will just tell you so much. It's absolutely fascinating regarding the just the findings of this consensus meeting. But leave it for now to say that a briefer training, 25 hours of what we call a practice leader, is appropriate, especially in accord with the findings in the consensus document of the National Expert Meeting on Qigong and Tai Chi. Now, your question was, is Tai Chi easy really easy? Well, it is for the person who's in your class. When we teach somebody to be a Tai Chi easy practice leader trainer, there's nothing there, I'm sorry, practice leader. When we teach someone to be a Tai Chi easy practice leader, it doesn't say anywhere that it's going to be easy to learn that, although clearly 25 hours, a lot can be learned in 25 hours. So the commitment is that Tai Chi easy is easy for the people who are learning Tai Chi easy, but the people who are learning to be Tai Chi easy practice leaders will learn more, faster, in a more intense training environment. Now, does Tai Chi easy replace level 2? No, because level 2 is 60 plus hours, and Tai Chi easy, which is a combination of Tai Chi and Qigong, is only 25 hours. So no, not at all. But this can be said, to get our 200-hour training, the IIQTC 200-hour certification training, coming to the 3 levels is about 180 to 185 hours. So if a person has taken the Tai Chi easy practice leader training, they don't have to do anything else. And at recent level 1s, there have been quite a few people who have come to the Tai Chi easy practice leader trainings, but it is not necessary, and that there's a very strong contingency of people who just start at level 1 and go right through to level 2, and it's fine. So there are 2 pathways in, and that's really very, very powerful. So there's a little bit of level 2 in Tai Chi easy, and there's a little bit of level 1 in Tai Chi easy. And it's a package of practices. You can study up on this by going to taichieasy.org. And but I'm sorry to say, but I don't think it's actually a disappointment. It's actually part of our integrity and a part of the level of the quality of training that you get, that Tai Chi easy training does not replace level 2. And please feel free, Walter, to give us a call. I'd be happy to communicate with you about these things. We talk to people all the time. All right, my friends. I want to thank the IIQTC team, Diane, who set up the webinar and who was introduced me earlier on, and Rhonda Ritchie, who's our tech wizard and team support. These people are tireless in their service of you. And we have a huge number of people that we communicate with on a regular basis through the free membership site, through our emails. Some of them are graduates, some of them are not. Well, some of the people on the line right now are some of our graduates, and many of you are people who've been watching the IIQTC and making decisions about when you're going to get trained as a teacher and so forth. And Diane and Rhonda are indispensable to this organization. So wrapping up, it's a big vision. We've been working on this for decades. We appreciate your interest. We believe that we give good value in these informational webinars. We're not suggesting that you would, buy anything. I mean, how often do you go to a webinar where you're not supposed to buy something? The only thing that we're really doing here is giving you access to the free membership site. And that doesn't cost anything either. So we wish you sincerest blessings and look forward to meeting you sometime soon. And sincerely and deeply wishing you well. Thank you so much.